From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao Mohan, your host today, and we have Kevin Kennedy with the Kennedy Law Firm with us today from Clarksville.
Always good to be with you, Amy. It's fun, yeah.
And we're here on our regular day, so we hope we'll have lots of callers. Call in 737 plus 737 7587. And Ask the Attorney is a great opportunity. We're both attorneys here. We are ready to take your questions, give you advice.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, a little advice goes a long way. So even, you know, like I've said, I've been a lawyer now in excess of 32 years, and we still love to discuss these things because, you know, you'll think of an issue and no one can think of every solution in one sitting. And if you say, well, you've got all this experience, why didn't you give me the answer? Well, the answer is let's talk about it, let's think about it. And I'll catch myself quite a bit now, even on some of my very, very important clients. I said, let me think about this, call again tomorrow, and I'll think, you know, as I ride my horse, I think, and as I drive the car, I'm thinking.
Sometimes the best ideas, the other day I had a case and the best idea came to me in the shower. You never know.
Yes. And you know, when I was a young lawyer, one time I worked on a case for a solid year, and I told my mother, I said, wow, Mom, you can't believe I came up with this. And she said, Kevin, no. And I really didn't get the answer till I was sitting in the trial. And of course, the answer came, we won the trial, great. But I had looked at it for a year and discussed it with many smart guys. And so when does the light clicked on? Yep.
So call that number 737 plus 737 7587, and it's a great opportunity, even if you don't have a question, to listen to what other people say, because we've said we've learned so much all the time from this show.
We do.
Just hearing the kind of issues that people have and how to solve them.
Right. You know, the truth of the matter, we are living in a litigious society. Everybody wants to litigate. So what that teaches is to take a proactive approach. And we said it many times on the show, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Benjamin Franklin said that over 200 years ago. But the truth is, so if I have something coming, I say, I'm not sure about that. Amy, what do you think about this? And we just talk a little. The odds are we head off lots and lots of trouble and a lot of sleepless nights.
It's true. Now, for people who haven't watched the show before, Kevin, tell us a little bit about your practice. I know you've been practicing for more than 30 years now.
Yes. Well, I practice law in the general practice of law, and you know, I do lots and lots of car wrecks, and we do medical malpractice. We do all kinds of injury cases. The Kennedy Law Firm has a big divorce practice. In fact, I personally, you know, they always say, well, his claim to fame, I did the Oprah Winfrey show because they said I did more divorces than any lawyer in the nation during the Persian Gulf War. And I was interviewed by CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times. And the truth is that Fort Campbell Army Base, 35,000 men and women of our fighting force are right there. And in one of my offices, the Fort Campbell office, is just outside the post. So military law and lots of criminal cases. And I'll say this real loud, learn, learn, learn. We've said it many times, loose lips sink ships. So if they came and said, Amy, I want to talk to you tomorrow, then you should stop and say, let me call Kevin. And the first thing you'll hear me say is, don't talk to them. Let me talk to them, because what we would do is we would find out who this police officer is, immediately go in and talk to them, and then run a little cover for you. And the odds are great we're going to turn that ship away. And so that's what I say. But if you do bankruptcy, every bit of law that we touch opens up 10 more laws. They call it the exception to the exception, and I think that's kind of what I've learned. So the law is black and white, statutes, facts are whatever we say the facts are. The theory of the law never changes. You got to be fair, and it's got to be just. And so then that's when a creative lawyer goes to work. And people say, you know, I hate lawyers. But what you'll always hear is, I love my lawyer. And I have lawyers too. And I have a substantial firm there in Clarksville. But I have lawyers too. And so for my sons, both my sons are doctors. And every time I talk to them, I'm always trying to protect them.
Yeah, and you also do criminal law as well.
Lots of criminal law. And remember this, tonight, before we go through this door, no one knows what tomorrow holds. So someone can falsely accuse you. You can have a car wreck going home tonight, and they say, well, golly, she was negligent. It's a homicide. You didn't mean it. Well, golly, you better hire a lawyer. When? When do we hire one?
As soon as you can.
Right now, as soon as we can. You know, I have some clients, and they say, Kevin, I have you on speed dial. I said, okay, let's do it. And then, you know, almost every Christmas, my Christmases are covered with phone calls. I got to get to Kevin. It's an emergency. And so it's great that I can be there to help somebody. That's really what I've always wanted to do. Even before I was a lawyer, I wanted to, and that's what brought me to and today, you and I have been doing this show for several years now. We love to try to help. So if I can give you some advice and Amy can share some, then we fulfilled what our purpose, our calling is.
And we definitely enjoy doing this show. Call that number 737+, 737-7587. And we're going to take a call here from Roger. Hi, Roger.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to know, does the state of Tennessee have a time limit on settling an estate?
Well, Raj, here's the truth of the matter. You know, when someone passes away, if there's a will, you should open the estate. Many times that thing can drag on for years. Once it's opened, it can drag on until someone moves it, whether the court says we're going to resolve all the issues or some kind of creditor has filed a claim. So if I had an estate issue and it had been open a while, I'd go visit my lawyer and say, what do we need to do? Let's move forward and get it settled. There's got to be forms filed with the state of Tennessee. If it's a big enough, you'll have to file forms with the federal government. But, you know, you got to keep pushing. And sometimes if the lawyers don't push, the squeaky door gets the oil, so you advance your own cause.
Yeah, don't let it drag on forever. I was in court the other day in a small county, and the judge was going through the docket call, and she said, this estate case has been here since 2004,
yes,
and they were still litigating over it. So.
Yes.
All right, we've got Taylor here. Hi, Taylor.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
Got a probate question myself.
Okay.
A friend of mine's daughter has, her father had died, so she's going to inherit without a will everything to herself. Now, her father had insurance and was never in a nursing home or anything.
Okay.
My question is this. I know TennCare often requires a clearance letter
yes,
for probate court.
Yes.
Since he never used TennCare services at all, would he also need, or not he, she, need a clearance letter from them? Or?
Absolutely, and that's a great question that affects so many people. That's how you say that they were never, because you get a letter that would say there is no liability, there is no claim, it's clear, and you could close your estate. Yeah, you always got to do that.
All right, we've got Barb here. Hey, Barb.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good evening. I'm sorry. Yes, I would like to, I have a question. I would like to know if a person tries to sell a real estate, you know, without getting going through, you know, a lawyer or anything like, you know, not a lawyer, but, you know.
A real estate agent, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, is that good to a person?
Yeah, there's no problem. Just for instance, you know, I deal in real estate houses, and if I had a house and the neighbor came up and said, Kevin, do you want to sell that? I'd say, sure. You know, $80,000, and then they'd say, okay, I'll take it for $80,000. Well, we would just go to the lawyer. If you're buying, I always tell you to go get a title opinion. So you'll have somebody research it and make sure that there's no problem with the title. I like to tell people to get a survey so there's no misunderstanding where the pegs and your land boundaries are, and there's no encroachments and no easements that you weren't aware of. And yeah, you don't have to have a realtor, and you would actually save all those realtor fees.
Yeah, all that commission. All right, we've got Brenda here. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
How can we help you today?
I have a question about an apartment complex.
All righty.
They are forcing people to purchase renters insurance in order to rent an apartment there, and I just need to know if that's legal.
All right. Well, in the state of Tennessee, everybody usually has a right that you can contract anything that you want to. Now, what you're running, I'm in the rental business, and for instance, if I owned a big apartment complex, for me to get my insurance renewed, they're going to say, Mr. Kennedy, you're going to have to make sure everybody has renter insurance, because if you don't, then we're going to charge your premium higher and you're going to pay for it. So that really what's going on. You say, well, golly, they're making me mad, Kevin. The apartment complexes, hold on. If you really knew what was going on, it's the insurance industry that is putting pressure. So, you know, every time you go to the buildings in any city, the biggest buildings by an insurance company, you know why? Because their premiums have had so many profits that they can do that. So if you'll kind of follow the money where it's going right back to the insurance company, and they're requiring it. And so, you know, they can't do business without insurance. And if you don't, there's an exclusion. And so I guess because of so many tornadoes and so many floods, it's created a whole lot of problem, and litigation comes forward. I'll do this little stop. Everybody should look at your insurance policies. I don't sell insurance, but I say get insurance. My son
But don't rely on it.
Yeah, you heard me say it earlier. My son, the doctor, he gave me a little plaque one time, and he said, you know, my dad always said, always have insurance, but never rely on it. And what that really means is that we're going to take a proactive approach. Yes, I have insurance, but I'm immediately going to try to get my witnesses. I'm going to try to do whatever is necessary to help protect us. And that would be hire your own lawyer. When? Right now. Because remember, the insurance company, they're going to have lawyers protecting their interest. And you should probably have a lawyer protecting yours, especially, you know, if it's going to get into a big claim. I lost that pen, but that'll be all right.
Well, you're just getting too excited about insurance. Well, and so it is legal for them to require her to have renter's insurance. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but please call that number at the bottom of your screen, 737 plus 737 7587, and we'll be back with Kevin Kennedy after this.